Aye, we give you the facts. It's not what you think. Popeye Newsling, Young King, 1 yard, bless.
Good morning, Popeye. Grandma watch Popeyes every morning and every night.
Greetings, viewers and subscribers. Are you planning on visiting Canada? Do you want to visit Canada? Next week, Sunday afternoon, we are going live. We are planning on going live at about 5 o'clock Jamaica time. We are going to be talking to a Canadian immigration consultant and she'll be answering all your questions live. So, all the questions that you have about visiting Canada on a visitor's visa will be answered next week, Sunday afternoon. Don't miss it, you see? When I told you that there is a lot more to come, you best believe. Now, question. Have you listened to the interviews I did with the father of Danielle Rowe, who was brutally murdered? Have you listened to the interview I did with a friend of Danielle Rowe's mom this morning? My question is, are you of the view that this is mix-up and blender? You are? Well, call it what you may. At the end of the day, young Danielle Rowe, she was brutally murdered and none of us know the real motive. There are a lot more interviews to come and I can bet you and win you that the motive why Danielle was killed is in one of what you call mix-up and blender. At the end of the day, I am getting lots of information. The killer is still at large and is one thing I can say to the killer of young Danielle Rowe. Don't get comfortable. Don't feel like say you get away. This child did not deserve what you did to her. There can be no justification for what you did. So, even if you comment on any of the interviews that I did and say it is mix up and blender, you are only encouraging us to put out more mix up and blender, because if it is mix up and blender, that is gonna help to crack this case. It will be cracked because guess what? You don't hear mix up and blender yet. Keep on listening. In the news today, a 20-year-old guy is facing serious charges. His name is Sean Ray Banton, but he's popularly known as Ratty. Ratty is 20 years old and he's living at Narayan Lane in the Old Harbour Bay area of St. Catherine. He was charged for 1. RAPE, 2. Abduction, and 3. Grievous sexual assault. The allegations are that last week, Sunday night, July 23, about 7:30, an 11-year-old girl went to a shop with her mother. Whilst her mother was being served, the 11-year-old girl, she was playing with another young girl on the veranda. It is said that Ratty, he took the 11-year-old girl to his home next door where them go do it. When the mother was ready to leave the shop, she could not find her daughter. She became suspicious and she started searching for her. The 11-year-old daughter, she was later found using a bathroom. Her mother started to rough her up and she told her mother that Ratty, him hold her down and take it from her. As a result, a report was made to the police and Ratty, he was arrested. Ratty has since been charged by the police and he'll be going to the courts shortly. This next incident, it took place last night, Saturday, July 29, about 10:30. It took place at the In-Town Restaurant and Tipsy nightclub at Grange Hill in the parish of Westmoreland. We are learning that the police, acting on intelligence, they carried out a raid at the restaurant and nightclub right in the Grange Hill town center. Our information is that the police, they searched a garbage bin inside the bathroom and bingo. If you look on your screen, that single action Browning 9mm pistol with the serial number intact, it was affixed with a magazine containing 8 rounds of 9mm cartridges, was found. No one was arrested in connection with this find, but intelligencers, Big up on yourself. And Westmoreland Police, job well done. In this next story, on the afternoon of Saturday, August 6, 2022, about 1:30, broad daylight, Independence Day, a well-known goat thief was shot and killed in the Amity area of Westmoreland. This Amity is up in the hills of Westmoreland in the Betheltown police area, near to the border of Westmoreland and St. James. The name of the guy who was killed is Michael Scarlett, but he was popularly known as Alex. Alex was born on November 22, 1994, and he lived in the Amity St. Leonard's area of Westmoreland. On that date, it is said that Alex, he went to visit his baby mother and his children. He spent some time there and he left to go back to his home. About a minute or two after he left the yard, he was shot and killed along the roadway. It was well known in the area that it was another hoodlum who is popularly known as Bean who shot and killed Alex. Bean, he was never arrested and charged by the police because you know how the thing go. Witnesses are afraid to give statements and evidence. So Bean, he was still out a road carrying on hoodlum activities. Now, let me remind you who Bean is or was. Bean's correct name is Sheldon Johnson. He was born on May 5, 1994. Bean, he lived in the same St. Leonard Amity area of Westmoreland. I carried a story about Bean on Wednesday. Remember, I told you that on January 27 this year, two of Bean's sisters, they were traveling in a Honda step wagon at Chelsea Irwin in the Mount Salem police area when they were attacked and shot at. One of the sisters, popularly known as Browning, she was shot and seriously wounded. I also told you that Bean, he left his home late Tuesday afternoon, July 25, about some minutes to 6 o'clock. He left with one of his friends. Well, we had said friends, but we are now saying that Bean, he left with one of his cronies, known as Joe. They left in a black Nissan Infiniti motorcar. Less than 3 hours later, the same black Nissan Infiniti motorcar that Bean left in, it drove up to the Cornwall Regional Hospital. The driver for the car, he got assistance and took Bean out of the car. The driver, he then drove away without giving any information. It was then realized that Bean, he had gunshot wounds to his chest, left side and his left hand. Bean was pronounced DEAD by a doctor on duty. Now, when I carried that story, I ended by asking, what really went down? I also told you that we continue to dig. So here is what we are learning. You remember a story that I carried on Thursday about two guys who were killed in the same Amity area at St. John's Road? I told you that Tuesday night at minutes to 8 o'clock. Residents of the area, they heard gunshots being fired in the area and they called the police. We told you that when the police went to the area and made checks, no useful information was obtained. Early Wednesday morning, July 26, about some minutes after 6 o'clock, the police, they received more information. As a result, they returned to the area. The lifeless body of two males were found with gunshot wounds all over their bodies. Both of them appear to have died from the night before. I also told you that one of the guys, he was identified as Lyuru Brown and he was 25 years old. Well, his first name is not Lyuru, like I had said. It's Lyuru. It is spelled Lyuru. Got it? And he's from D-side in the parish of Trelawney. And like I told you, he was a suspect in a murder in the parish of Trelawney. I also told you that the other guy who was killed, he was unidentified. I'm now finding out that his name is Sidney Cook and he's from Green Pond in the parish of St. James. Have you figured out anything as yet? Yes, man. All three hoodlums, they were shot in one incident. But before I tell you what is suspected to have happened, hear this. The black Nissan Infiniti motor car that picked up Sheldon Johnson, also known as Bean, at his home and later dropped him off at the hospital. It is owned by Lyuru Brown, but it is registered in one of his close family members' name. So what we are learning is that these three guys who were killed, they were up to no good. They were in the Amity area buying and selling guns to and from each other. There was a disagreement and guns were drawn. Shots were fired and Lyuru, Sidney and Bean, they were shot. As a result, they ended up dying. I am also told that it is possible that others were also shot. So in this incident, it is hoodlums killing hoodlums. The mayhem. So let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Have you hit on the love button as yet? If you have not yet done so, remember to hit on it. Also, if you are over here watching our videos and you have not yet subscribed, hit on the subscribe button. As also, hit on the notification bell. Then click all so that whenever we drop a new video, you will be one of the first to be notified. In the final story for today, detectives in the St. James Division, they are trying to find out who it is that killed that lady on your screen. Her name is Peta-Gaye Jones. She was born on October 17, 1987. She was only 35 years old. Peta-Gaye is a graduate of the Sam Sharp Teachers College and she was the program coordinator at the Montego Bay campus of the University College of the Caribbean. Peta-Gaye, she lived at Browns Lane in the Granville area of St. James. Now, this is what we are learning. Peta-Gaye is a mother and it is said that something was happening in the relationship with Peta-Gaye and her baby father because from time to time, in the wee hours of the morning, Peta-Gaye, she would come out of the bedroom that both of them are living in and go and sleep elsewhere in the house. We are told that Wednesday night, Peta-Gaye, she went to bed with her baby father. In the wee hours of Thursday morning, Peta-Gaye, she got up and she didn't bother to go in any other room in the house to sleep like she usually do. She drove away in her grey Toyota Passo motor car. When the baby father got up in the morning, Peta-Gaye was not around. We are told that efforts were made to contact Peta-Gaye, but she did not answer any calls. Early Friday morning, July 28, about 7 o'clock, Peta-Gaye, she called a close family member and told that family member to meet her at Westgate Hills with something. The family member, she went and met Peta-Gaye about 8:30 and handed her the things that she had requested. Peta-Gaye, she then left alone in her car and that was the last time any family member would have seen Peta-Gaye alive. Yesterday afternoon, Saturday, July 29, about 12:30, residents saw the lifeless body of a female in bushes on a footpath about 30 feet from the Tarada Heights main road in Coral Gardens. The female, she was dressed in a blue and white dress with a red cardigan and a pair of white Crocs slippers. The female, she had a large wound to the right half of her face. We are told that that wound was so massive that even her facial bones and her teeth were exposed. The police, they were called in and they commenced investigation. We are told that the police, they found her white handbag beside her with her driver's license. We are also told that some valuables were found in the bag. So this was not a robbery. Someone very close to Peta-Gaye killed her. That hit that Peta-Gaye got had all kind of rage in it. We are also told that Peta-Gaye, she was not sexually assaulted. I am hoping that this killer be made to pay for this wickedness. The mayhem continues. Blessed love, everybody.
Tell a friend for tell a friend for tell a friend about Peta-Gaye Newsling and KlLLEGAL TV. Like, subscribe and share. Quicksilver sing, if we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. If we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. Hey, crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. I coulda sunshine or rain. Jamaica, no problem, no pain. Rude boy them no out can't tame, but me want me country back. Give me country back. To the street and the lane. Everybody them start complain. Bloodshed, what a shame, but me want me country back. Give me country back. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Jamaica, Jamaica, the land of the sun. Jamaica become now the land of